An Endeavour to be Worthy, The Montfort Cousins, Book 1. Written by L. Diamond. Narrated by Deborah Balm. Darcy shifted Elizabeth out of the way and hastened from the interloper in a frantic dance. She was not the first to almost knock him to the floor in an attempt to force an introduction, and to his great misfortune she would not be the last. His married cousin, a viscount and heir to the Fitzwilliam earldom, was still plagued by the occasional scheme, but usually by married ladies hoping for a tumble. Marriage could not even save a man from this ridiculousness. "How terribly clumsy of me," said the older woman, who had hit him from behind. "I tripped on my own feet." When the ornately dressed woman lifted her face, her expression overspread with the widest of affected smiles. "You are Viscount Milton's cousin, are you not? Mr. Darcy?" As was his wont in these situations, he executed an abrupt turn, and with a gentle hand to Miss Elizabeth's elbow, steered her in the direction of the hall. "I hope you are in need of refreshment. My conscience would not allow me to leave you when I made my escape." "Do not trouble yourself. I am uninjured, and after that spectacle I cannot fault you for your manner of leaving. My grandmother claimed she would attempt such a manoeuvre, but I would not have believed it had I not seen it with my own eyes. Thank goodness Mamma was not here to witness her scheme. No gentleman of means would be safe in Hertfordshire, not as long as she had daughters to marry off." "While we are not in company, allow me to beg your forgiveness for the comment I made at the assembly." Miss Elizabeth's merry laughter surrounded him, enveloping him in a warmth he had never experienced before. "Grandmamma is correct. Our entire evening thus far has been spent begging others for forgiveness. We are a sorry lot indeed, though not as sorry as the lady who tried to use you as a target for lawn bowls." A smile tugged at one corner of his lips. No one teased him but Georgiana and Richard, and her willingness to make light of the situation alleviated some of the tension. When they reached the table, Hatton and his sister were not to be found. He handed Miss Elizabeth a glass of punch. "Do you know how long you are to remain in town?" "We were to stay with my grandparents through Twelfth Night, but it seems we are to remain for the season as well." "Will this be your first season?" "I spent a month of the season with my grandparents 2 years ago, though I only attended 2 theatre performances and a private concert. My grandfather was not well at the time, so we spent most of our time with him." "He had an episode with his heart, did he not?" "The physician claimed it to be so. He was put to bed and on orders to rest. I spent the month reading to him." "I am certain he was grateful for your efforts." "He all but shook himself to cease the image of her doing the same for him. Why could he not control the direction of his thoughts when in her company? She invaded his mind, her presence lingering in every corner and tempting him beyond reason." "Grandpapa?" she asked with a grin. "No, he despises being read to. He humoured me while he was the most ill, before he demanded the book to read for himself. My grandfather detests even the slightest notion of being helpless." "My sister and I dined with Lord and Lady Richmond before they departed for Yorkshire for the summer that year. We were all greatly relieved at his recovery." She nodded while she swallowed the sip of her punch and puckered her lips in the most adorable fashion. "Oh, my!" "Is it sour?" "No, the liquor is quite strong." She cleared her throat while he tasted his glass of the concoction. "'Tis no wonder. I believe this is Regent's punch. My aunt served it for a ball last year. I am uncertain of the receipt, though due to the champagne, Madeira, and brandy in the mixture, my uncle complained of the expense." After one more sip and more twisting and pursing of her lips, she held the back of her hand over her nose, handing him the glass. "I should stop, otherwise I fear I may lose my wits." Good Lord, he should like to see her lose her wits. With a cough, he set down his glass and took hers, placing it next to his. He needed to get a hold of himself, lest he do something to embarrass himself. "We should find Hatton, Miss Montfort. Miss Forgive me. I never stumble over my words so." "Do not trouble yourself. I had not known of my grandfather giving us the Montfort surname until 2 days ago. If I had to mention Jane as you do, I would have a similar difficulty.